You know how technology is supposed to make our lives easier? Well, what happens when the very systems you pay good money for, the ones meant to help your small business, actually become your biggest enemy? Today, we're going to dive into the story of the Ace High Motor Inn and see how a simple change in perspective saved them from a total digital disaster.
So let me introduce you to Frank and Maureen Craig. For them, running their motel wasn't just about making beds and greeting guests, it was about fighting their own computers every single day. And for Frank, that daily struggle was, in his own words, an absolute nightmare.
And look, the stakes here were incredibly personal. Frank has some pretty significant vision impairment, and both he and Maureen have mobility challenges. So their technology wasn't just annoying, it was physically and mentally exhausting. It turned simple, everyday tasks into these huge, frustrating mountains to climb.
Okay, get this. Just one task. Processing a credit card when the guest wasn't physically there. Frank had to log into a secure online vault. Then he had to get up, walk over to a different computer just to get an access code from an email. Then walk back, type in that code, and only then could he process the payment. And he had to do that for every single one of those transactions. Can you just imagine the wasted time and the sheer frustration? It really makes you wonder, right? How on earth does it get that bad? This wasn't just a slow computer or a buggy app. Nope. The problem was way, way deeper. It was baked right into the foundation of an IT setup that was just never the right fit for them to begin with. So here's the kicker. The Ace High Motor Inn was paying for both Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. But because of a really flawed setup from their last IT provider, they weren't really using either one of them well. Instead, these two massive systems were just in a constant, invisible war with each other, right on the motel's computers. And this really gets to the heart of the conflict. Think of it this way. Microsoft 365 is built to be part of the computer's soul, you know? It's deeply woven into Windows. Google Workspace, on the other hand, it's happy to just live inside one program, your web browser. The Craigs had this cloud-based Microsoft system, but they were still trying to use it like an old-school computer where you save everything right there on the machine. And that basic misunderstanding was just causing total chaos. And here's what that chaos actually looked like. Google's password manager, trying to be helpful, would see that temporary code for the payment system and think, oh, new password, and it would save it over the real one, locking Frank out. Microsoft Word would get confused and save important documents in totally random places on the hard drive instead of in the cloud where they were supposed to be. It was just a mess. This all really came to a breaking point when a new consultant, Rick Wallace, showed up. His job was supposed to be simple. Just set up a new laptop for them. But that simple task turned into this grueling 3-day battle that really shined a spotlight on how deep the problems actually were. Man, it was a gauntlet. On day 1, Microsoft's own super secure system locked him out of their account. Day 2, the brand new laptop's Bluetooth just died. Couldn't even connect a mouse. And on day 3, the Wi-Fi drivers failed, completely cutting the machine off from the internet. It was just one step forward, 2 steps back, over and over again. And this was the big aha moment. After 3 days of wrestling with this machine, Rick realized the problem wasn't Frank. It was never user error. The problem was this incredibly complex, poorly fitted system that was just fundamentally wrong for the simple needs of a small motel. So, instead of trying to force this broken system to work, Rick came up with this brilliant, elegant solution. He called it the Chrome Bridge strategy. The whole idea was to stop fighting all the complexity and just, go around it. Here's how simple it was. First, he cut the cord between their Windows accounts and the Microsoft Cloud, made them simple, local logins, no more lockouts. Second, he moved every single business task, email, bookings, documents, you name it, inside the one program that always worked, Google Chrome. And third, the secret sauce, he created these things called web app shortcuts for everything.
So what on earth is a web app shortcut? It's actually genius. You can take pretty much any website, your booking system, Gmail, whatever, and you install it. It puts a nice little icon right on your taskbar at the bottom of the screen. When you click it, it opens in its own clean window, no browser tabs or address bar. So for Frank, it looks and feels just like a regular program, but it's all running smoothly and reliably on the web.
And with this strategy in place, the change was, it was like night and day. Rick migrated all their data from that tangled Microsoft setup over to a clean, simple Google Workspace. That chaotic, multi-step mess was about to become a beautiful one-click world.
Let's go back to that painful task of generating a quote.
The old way, remember? You'd open Word, go hunting through a maze of folders to find the template, make the quote, and then just cross your fingers and hope it's saved to the right place. And the new way? Boom. A single click. One click on a template sitting right there in Google Drive. It opens instantly in the browser, all ready to go. The time it saves is amazing, sure, but the reduction in stress, that's priceless. I mean, just look at the difference side by side. Before, they were juggling a half dozen different programs, local files, cloud systems, all of them fighting each other. Afterwards, everything. Email, bookings, documents, it all lived happily in one place, the browser. Simple, clean, and best of all, reliable.
So what's the big lesson here for every other small business out there? It's that choosing the right tool isn't about getting the one with the most bells and whistles. It's about finding technology that actually matches how you really work every day.
And the results are things you can see and feel right away. They went from paying for 2 separate, clashing business systems down to just one. That's money back in their pocket and a huge weight of complexity lifted off their shoulders.
So here are the big takeaways for your own business. Number 1, choose simplicity over features. Don't pay for some corporate-level suite if you're never going to use 90% of it. 2, your browser can be your operating system. For a lot of small businesses, everything you truly need can be done right inside Chrome, safely and reliably. And 3, find IT support that actually cares about people and how they work, not just about the tech specs. And this quote from Rick really says it all. The solution wasn't some overly engineered corporate fix. It was a simple, common-sense approach that came from real-world experience. He didn't just fix a computer, he understood the people who were using it and gave them a system that just works, so they could get back to running their business, not fighting their tech.
Which really just leaves us with one final, very important question to ask ourselves. I want you to take a hard look at the tools you use every day in your own business. Are they truly making your life easier? Or have you, maybe without even realizing it, ended up serving the whims of your own technology?